So Bishop, you and I are rolling and shaking this week.
Yes, we are.
We are not in our regular studio. We're in a different studio. So
transitioning.
Yeah, we are
making it work.
We are. So you've called us in the middle of a transition. Good things are to come, but right now this is where we are. Excited. This past week we had not only a great service, but we baptized 6 people.
Yes.
I mean, it was just.
Whoever took that picture, that was an amazing picture.
It was a good picture.
Oh my God, that's a keeper.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
You got the stadium seating action going on.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know who took that picture, but that they captured
the excitement of it all.
Yes.
And Julie said rightfully so. My wife Julie said rightfully so on Facebook. She goes, baptisms are like her favorite deal.
Yeah.
That's like it. Yeah. That's it. The apex of worship.
Yeah. Yeah. People identifying with Jesus as followers.
As followers
of Jesus.
We actually have a question about that here. So we got 3 questions. We're going to start with the easy one. We'll get to that one in a second. The first one you care nothing about. The first one is simply this. I'm putting that on you. I'm sorry.
Yes, I do.
I'm sure you care.
Come on now.
Right. There you go.
That's
right.
That's near and dear to my
heart.
Right.
No, but it says here, number 1, it says, can you share what songs were sung by the worship team this week? And the worship team, thank you. I was in tears. Tears is all caps. I was in tears. I was so deeply humbled by those lyrics and so grateful to hear them. So the 2 songs were, because I looked it up, is "You Are My Everything" by Todd Delaney, who is real good.
Super guy.
Super
guy. He's, as a person, he is so amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't know Todd Delaney's stuff, because he's not on the, at least not on the radio stations I listen to, like on the regular, his albums are great. And the second one is "Set My Eyes." I didn't get who wrote that one, but so "You Are Everything" by Todd Delaney, "Set My Eyes," and then of course the worship team, our worship team, tends to just kind of go where the Spirit leads them, right? And so
flowing.
It's called flowing. So they flowed into a number of hymns and our favorite choruses, but those are the main 2. That's probably what you're looking for. All right, so here's the out of the 3, here's the big question, and it's a paragraph long, people. So hold on, but it's a good question. Here's the question. It said, "I'm curious about rebaptism. I grew up with the understanding that you should only get baptized once. And I thought maybe it was just my specific denomination. But after a few minutes of research, it appears that every major denomination is against rebaptism. The only exception seems to be when converting between the major sects of Christianity, like Catholic, Orthodox, Protestant. I've also seen people rebaptized when they had an infant baptism that they didn't feel was relevant, or when they've not been walking with God for a while and they're rededicating themselves. So all that, here's the question. If baptism is a public proclamation of following Jesus, why is it that people do not get baptized more than just once? So it's just kind of a question. It's kind of a question on why do people get rebaptized? Is it legitimate? All that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything sinful about getting rebaptized. Most people do it because of some significant event in their life. We had a young lady, Kim, who had gone through chemo treatment for cancer, and as a result of God healing her, she just wanted to rededicate herself, and a public declaration of, I am renewing my walk and my relationship with God on a public scale. Some people do it because of early on they really didn't have a full understanding.
Right.
They, some people, others were joining church and they decided, well, I'm gonna join church and get baptized too, because it seemed like it's a cool thing to do.
Right.
As they grow older, they come into a new revelation and understanding of who God is, and they're like, hey, this time it means something different for me.
Right.
And I want to publicly identify as a follower of Jesus Christ. So sometimes it's rededication, sometimes it's just a new understanding of your walk and your relationship with God. So I think it's based on the person's experience and their understanding of where they are on their Christian journey.
Right.
Yeah.
And the illustration that sticks with me is a lot of Christians go to Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. And the Jordan River is there, and that's where Jesus got baptized. And so a lot of people get rebaptized there because they want to get baptized where Jesus.
Significance.
And I don't think anybody looks at that and says that's sinful. They just say, "Oh, that's to you is meaningful and significant." I like the way one person said it, and that's this: being rebaptized is not sinful, but it's not necessary.
Right. No.
Right. So it's not if you want to get rebaptized because of anything you just said, that's perfectly fine. But yes, we do believe in believers' baptism. When you become a believer, the first thing that Jesus asks you to obey is to show that you're a part of the family by getting baptized. And so we do think it is a matter of obedience, but it's also not a matter of sinfulness if you decide to get rebaptized for whatever reason in your life.
Right. It's like a person renews their wedding vows. It's not necessary, but they choose to do it.
And if it's meaningful to you and meaningful to other people, great, fantastic. That's a good illustration. I like that. The third one is simply this: these Grace Unfilters are a lot shorter these days. The third one, y'all gonna have to send in more questions.
I think we're being so clear and so precise on Sunday. They're
like y'all are good. Yeah, we're in and we're out.
That's what we're going with.
That's what we're going with. Number 3 is simply this: I see the men and women getting together to just quote unquote just hang out a lot. So with men's groups, women's groups, right? Why aren't these groups going out to serve or share the gospel? You want me to hit that one up?
Yeah, go for it.
And then you can follow up. So our church is not, I don't believe, devoid of sharing the gospel. I don't believe we're devoid of serving. If you look at what we're doing, if you look at our website, any of those things, we're supporting missionaries, we're serving the community, we're evangelizing. So we're not devoid of those things, but the men's ministry and the women's ministry are specifically, the vision for those are specifically to create a community of believers here that enjoy one another, are unified with one another, and learn to love one another in this community. And by default, by doing that, we display exactly what's shown in John chapter 13 and exactly what's shown in John chapter 17, the unity and love, which it becomes the witness of that. My argument would be, and I don't think this person's fighting back against this, but my argument would be, like, if I'm looking to be a Jesus follower, I'm going to respond according to John 13 and 17 way more to the love that I see in your fellowship than you breaking down the 4 laws. Now, the 4 laws is important, all that kind of stuff. So all that to say is we do service, we do share the gospel, but these groups are specifically tailor-made that we develop those internal relationships which spill over into these other things.
Yeah, it gives birth to the witnessing part. The fellowship itself is a witness to others. The Lord says, "By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, because you have love for one another." And I'm always a big believer that love is a drawing mechanism to draw people to God, to draw people into a rich relationship with Him, and then a rich relationship with others. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and if you think about it, I mean, if I think about it, the way that I think is that if people come to Grace United and we say, "Hey, look at what God's done," but they see after a month, after 2 months, that it is stuck on that surface level, we're not going in each other's homes. We don't know each other's kids. We don't understand each other. Then they will be disillusioned by the fact that they were expecting something beneath the surface, and that's all they got. So this is life on life. This is, and it's not the end, but it's the beginning. It's the introduction. Yeah. I know. I hung out. I learned. We had a guys thing yesterday, and I learned 3 new guys' names, and that's the beginning of knowing them. But they've been coming to our church for anywhere between 2 and 5 months, and if it weren't for that, we went out to Whole Hog Cafe yesterday for lunch. if it weren't for that meeting of like 8 to 9 guys, I would not have known their names, and I wouldn't have been invited to their houses. Which one guy invited me to his house, and so that's where it begins. And the men's and women's groups are the beginning of that, not the ending of that, but it's the beginning of that.
Yes, yeah. I believe that what God is doing here, it's not a shallow experience, but it's a deep experience that will continue to become deeper and deeper. One of the things that continues to resonate, the word authentic.
Yeah.
Authentic. Authentic love, authentic worship. Those are the things that continue to resonate from the congregation, from visitors. That's what they're experiencing. We had a lot of new people here Sunday, and they left here in awe. They're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And to God be the glory for what he's doing through the fellowships, through the worship experience, through the word. It's got God's fingerprints all over it.
All over.
Yeah.
Well, we do have, before we cut out, we do have a big Sunday coming up, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Tell them about it.
September the 23rd, September 24th. Please mark your calendars for that. We're getting ready to have a holy and high celebration of what God brought together, Grace United. And it's just literally amazing that we're getting close to 1 year celebration. So on the 23rd, we'll do from 11 until 2 an outdoor fellowship. And we're inviting not only members of Grace United, but bring your families, bring your aunties, bring your cousins, bring your fellow co-workers, bring them on that Saturday, because we're going to have bounce houses, plan on having horses, just a great time of food, fun, and fellowship. And then on that Sunday morning, the 24th, we'll have 2 services, as we always do now. 9 a.m., Dr. Rex Horn, one of my big brothers in the gospel, formerly pastor of Emmanuel Baptist Church, the big church off the freeway on 430, formerly there, as well as former president of Ouachita Baptist College in Arkadelphia. He'll be the 9 o'clock speaker. And then my friend, my brother, my big brother in the gospel, Dr. Maurice Watson, will be the preacher at 10:30 a.m. here at Grace United, who is now the pastor of Second Baptist Church on John Barrows. So we're going to have a great time on September 23rd and September 24th.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Bye, Cynthia.
Bye, Cynthia.